Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin De Leon, he does another video, this time on ABC 7. One thing I can honestly tell you, Kevin is definitely a politician because he knows exactly what to avoid. Now, in that recorded conversation, the most devastating things that were said was about the Black community of LA. And this man has done everything to avoid an apology. Now, this time he did mention African American, but he really didn't apologize again. He is avoiding it, and it's getting to be very obvious. So, I'm going to let you listen to this video from ABC 7 out of Los Angeles.
The voice of my constituents for CD14, a district that for decades, if not for generations, has been historically marginalized for a whole variety of reasons. If I were to step down, then they'd have no voice in city.
Let me stop you there. They'd have no voice. Are you saying that you're the only person who can represent them? Couldn't there not be someone else who could step in and fill your shoes and represent the people of your district?
I'm not the only one who can represent them, and I know that. But if a caretaker were to replace me, if I were to step down, then they would have no vote in City Hall. That's just the bottom line. This is a district that has been underrepresented. It's a district that's been undersourced. It's a district that has been underfinanced. In that moment of that meeting that we're talking about today, I felt in that moment.
All right, you refer to it as a moment. You keep using the term moment. Are you saying that in no other circumstances and no other situation have you failed in that way?
No, in no other circumstances. I failed to step up when they were, disparaging, our Oaxacan community. It's a community that I love dearly, that I've always stepped up for to protect the various dialects, the various indigenous groups within the Oaxacan community, Mixtecos, Zapotecos. I've always stepped up at that moment. You couldn't see it, but I had a very disparaging look on my face, but I should have verbalized my opposition to what was being said.
You're a 55-year-old man. You have been one of the most powerful Latino politicians, one of the most powerful politicians of any ethnic group in the state of California for a long time, not just the city. And for you to not step up and lead in that point, I think a lot of people would find incredulous.
This was a meeting that was called by the then president of the city council. Mm-hmm. I'm not the president. I wasn't the leader. I didn't convene that meeting. I was asked to participate in the meeting, and I participated in the meeting as a representative for my district on the issue of redistricting.
But you have the chops. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
You're an experienced servant of the public. You're not just somebody who's just freshly on the council. You've been around a long time, and you have a voice as well. So why did you not use it in that moment?
I should have, and I failed to do this. So, Mark, I failed, and for that, I'm deeply ashamed. Something that's not captured on audio is my facial gestures during the course of the meeting. That's not captured. Unfortunately and sadly, but that is the reality that I'm dealing with right now.
What would make you step down?
Mark, ultimately, my constituents elected me, and it's the choice of my constituents to do. If it is their decision that I move forward and step down, then I'll accept it.
The council can't even meet in person if you were there because of protesters and demonstrators. You've got people who don't want to work with you specifically, people who don't want to conduct business before the council unless you and Gilbert Cedillo are gone. How are you going to get any work done?
I have to work. I've taken a leave of absence right now. I'm trying to do the hard work to regain the trust of my colleagues, to regain the trust of various members of our African American community, of our Oaxacan community, of the communities as a whole. I'm doing that hard work.
What does that mean?
It's the work that I have to do. It means atonement. It's meaning having the conversations. It's meaning not just saying, I'm profoundly sorry, It's also meaning, what do I need to do to the perspective, to the eyes of others to tone, to reaffirm my solid commitment that's always been solid, to communities of color.
Okay, so what he's essentially saying is he is trying to stay in his position, although there's many cries for him to resign. But he is trying to hang on because if he steps down, what he's saying is then there is no brown voice in the city council. But whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? You created a brown politician, and the whole premise of it is to destroy the Black community. It seems like there's no other reason for your existence in that LA City Council. Everything is surrounded by how you can destroy the Black community there. So if you don't have a voice because there's a public outcry for you to resign, then whose fault is that? See, they want to be mad at the person that leaked the video, but really people should be more outraged with them because they had an agenda against the Black community. And it just seems like brown politics is not about anything else but destroying Black people. Then, in my opinion, maybe you shouldn't have a voice in City Hall until you can determine what your politics really should be. But if it's the whole premise of it is how I'm going to quash out these Black people and run them out of certain districts and everything, then no, you shouldn't have a voice there. And it just seems like that's all brown politics is. So, y'all, are you still buying what he's saying? Or should he resign? I believe the latter should happen. He should resign. If there are other people coming in, let it be fresh faces. And the people there in the city council must make it very clear they can't be there just to destroy another group of people, or otherwise the same thing is going to happen again. But, that's their problem. This man needs to go, as far as I'm concerned. He hasn't changed my mind listening to his last two interviews, and I'm still not convinced. He needs to go. And as long as he's there, they said the protest will continue, and it should. I can't believe anybody would want to work with any of these folks at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.